497, 498, 499, 500. Woo! Yeah, you can feel it, baby. You can feel it this time of year. My favorite time of year, the end of January. You know what that means. Royal Rumble, yeah! This Sunday, WWE Network. 30 superstars over the top rope. One winner going on to WrestleMania for the championship main event. I can't wait. It's my favorite time of year. And I figured, what better way to celebrate than to hold the first annual More Than the Score Rumble this Sunday, right here, TH Studios. And what better way? And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Oh, they're gonna approve that down at the TH. Already clear with the board of directors, buddy. Don't worry about anything. So let's lay down the challenge right now. Anyone, that's right, Stunning Steve Ortman says, anyone in Dubuque that wants to come down here and challenge me at the very first More Than the Score Rumble. The challenge has been laid out. If you've got the guts, if you've got the intestinal fortitude, if you've got the grapefruits, brother, to come on down here, challenge Stunning Steve in the More Than the Score Rumble, I'd like to see you try, because there's one thing that's for sure. As a famous wrestler once said, to be the man, you've gotta beat the man. And when it comes to More Than the Score, baby, I'm the man. Woo! Come on, you know what he got what it takes? Challenge me in the studio? Moscow? This is my house. Time's running out. Looks like we ain't got anybody. All right. Wait a second, countdown. Oh, here we go. Here we go, baby.
Well, what do we have here? So you're the guy that does More Than the Score. Is that you?
Yes.
Wait, the way
good.
I describe you to people is, you know, obviously you kind of work out a little bit. Maybe you don't, but then again, you have the chest of someone that looks like they delivered a litter of 6 puppies. But anyway, and also you got a stomach that, the stretch marks on your stomach kind of remind me of an LA street map. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I heard you're looking for me. Ooh, you kinda. You want
It's just called. I take back.
What?
You're tougher than me, no question. So let's just kind of.
Well, we don't know that. How do we know that?
I wasn't really challenged.
You're a big guy. You're a big guy. But then again, that's never stopped me before because I was a super heavyweight at one time, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm still a super heavyweight. Maybe not as big as I used to be, but I'm still a super heavyweight. So what do you want? You want to shake my hand?
Yeah, can we just call it good?
Sure.
Oh,
God. Oh, I got a dinner date.
You okay? See? See what happens when you get in over your head? You see what happens?
Yes, sir.
Didn't your mama ever teach you a lesson?
Yeah.
I guess I just taught you one. Don't ever mess with the big shot.
Oh, my ribs.
It'll be okay.
Oh, that's all right. I'm gonna tough it out. Tough it out.
You're a big boy. You can handle it.
Yeah, tough it out.
Drink
We rolling?
drink your milk tonight before you go to bed. You'll feel much better in the morning.
Thank you. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice. Are we rolling? All right. Thanks everyone for joining us for this week's special edition of Telegraph Herald, More Than the Score. I'm your host, Steve Ortman. You can see alongside me this week, Bob Hardcore Holly. Ooh, that's impressive, folks. That doesn't get you to stay. I don't know what will.
I don't know.
Bob, thanks for joining us. Obviously, this Sunday, the Royal Rumble. As far as pro wrestling fans go, the most exciting time of year. You got the Royal Rumble heading into WrestleMania. You were part of many of those. That's why
I was part of a lot of them. Yeah.
so happy to bring you on this week and talk a little bit about that before we get too far. First of all, I wanted to focus in now. You've been in Dubuque since 2009. Lovely wife, Linda, brought you here.
She's
And-
the greatest.
Oh, she
She is.
is wonderful. And
She's my high school sweetheart.
Yes. And you would know that if you read this wonderful book right here, The Hardcore Truth. Great book. If you're a wrestling fan, don't have this, you absolutely should have it. The Hardcore Truth, indeed. Obviously, go into some great details, some great stories here. If you're a pro wrestling fan, absolutely great read. You know where you can get that at all the fine retailers. Set that there very nicely. I treat the book with a lot of
care.
And but anyways, you've been in Dubuque now for 9 years or so. Traveled the world, obviously, as a wrestler. But what do you like most about being in the Dubuque area here?
I like honestly, I really like the weather, simply because it has all 4 seasons.
Right.
I lived most of my adult life in Mobile, Alabama, and which the 15 years I was with WWE, I was never home. So, but I mean, like down there, you just have, it's either hot or it's cold. There's no in between. The humidity is crazy. To me here, the humidity is nothing. The heat's nothing. I love the snow. I love snow. And that's one of the main reasons I like being here too.
Yeah.
You know, and the people here are great. They treat me really well. You know, everywhere I go, people are so nice to me. You know, so I love the place. It's a good place. And people always ask me, it's like, why here? When I was living in Mobile, they said the same thing. Why here? I was like, you got to live somewhere. And honestly, everywhere I've been, it's all what you make of where you live. That's just it. It's all what you make of where you live. And the things I could find to do here, I could find anywhere else. So, you know, we ride bikes. During the winter time, we go snowmobiling. We go up to Door County. Love Door County, Wisconsin. In fact, we're going back up there here in a few weeks after I get back from Europe. But Dubuque is just a great place to live. It's like anything. It's what you make of where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's get right to it. Wrestling fans, tune in. Want to hear some great stories about your time in the Royal Rumble event. You were a part of 9 Royal Rumbles. 7 times you were in the actual 30-man Royal Rumble match.
Yep.
And what stands out to you, some of your favorite moments from that event? And also, if you can kind of walk us through the day of a superstar at the Royal Rumble. And, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of things like, you know, when do you find out where you're going to be entering, all those kind of interesting tidbits.
Usually the day, you know, it starts out, you get up in the morning, eat, obviously. Like for me, I get up before the chickens crow. So I'll eat, go work out, go back to my hotel, get cleaned up, everything. Then after that, the agents will either come up to you and say, hey, this is what we got. If you have a match, they say, hey, this is what we got going on. We need to get together at this time, be out at the ring. We'll go over everything and figure out what they want. And they usually don't tell you who's going over until you have both participants together. Or like if you're not in a match and you're in the Rumble, then they'll probably wait till I think it was probably 4 maybe. Times vary, but anyways, they would gather all 30 guys, and we'd be in a room just like this, and Michael Hayes was usually the one calling the shots, and he'd lay out who comes to the ring first, and from then on, it's just like a sheet with everybody's name, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 30. And then once they announce who goes, then they get to the part where whenever it's your time to go out. So like for me, for instance, if I came in number 5 or 6, then they wanted me out, I'd be the 10th guy out maybe. So they would make sure that, let's say if they wanted Kane out, Kane would go out, then I'd be right after him. So I'd always have to pay attention to what Kane was doing. So then once Kane went out, I'd go to the guy who's supposed to throw me out, like if they wanted, because they want certain guys to throw certain people out.
Right.
And so like if they wanted John Cena to throw me out, I'd have to go find him, make my way over to him, fight over to where he's at, or he automatically knows to come over to me, and then he throws me out. So just like that.
Yeah, interesting kind of look at how that match is put together. Obviously, for many fans, it's their favorite match of the year.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite personal moments from being in the Royal Rumble?
I really enjoyed working with Brock when we did that world title match
2004
in Philadelphia. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I was really disappointed though because Shawn Michaels and Triple H were main eventing that night too. So we were like the co-main event, and we actually had scheduled 20 minutes for that match. By the time we got to Gorilla, And gorilla position, for those people that don't know, that's where you are is like when
Where they keep the gorillas that are on hand just in case, or?
they're no, just stop.
Oh,
you remember Gorilla Monsoon?
That's misleading. Nah,
You remember
man, that's
Gorilla
misleading.
You remember
Oh,
Gorilla
yes.
Monsoon? He was the guy that was always there, so they call it a gorilla position because you go to where Gorilla Monsoon is, and that's where you go out. They tell you to go out. Once your music plays, then you walk out.
That's right.
Got that?
That's right.
So
I
that's where
forgot.
the association of the gorilla
Yes,
is. Okay.
Of course.
Where'd you guys get him? Anyway, so anyway, they came to us, and obviously, Brock was going over and everything. So we worked our match out. We had 20 minutes worth of stuff going on. We get to Gorilla, and they say, "You guys got 10 minutes." So we had to cut out a lot of our stuff. And then, as the match before us continued, then right before we got ready to go out, they said, "You got 8 minutes." So we had to cut out more. So we only got 8 minutes for our match. And it was kind of disappointing because, that's a world title match. You should get some time for that. But it is what it is. And I still had a good match with them. I enjoyed it. And I really had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
did.
no, you look at some of the other things you've done in the history of the Royal Rumble. 2000 stands out. You were on the undercard of that show. You're in a triple threat match with Chris Jericho and Chyna, famous women's wrestler at the time, that would get in the ring with the men. And you talk about this in your book as well, but kind of talk about that dynamic.
Chyna should be in the Hall of Fame. She should. Should have been a long time ago, because before any other women was in the Hall of Fame, it should have been Chyna, because she was the first female Intercontinental Champion. The very first one, and the only one,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
To my knowledge, you're correct.
Yeah, so they should have put her in. She was done wrong, and I'm not going to get into all that, but I'm pretty sure most people know how she was kind of done. But anyway, no, I enjoyed that match. I really had a lot of fun. It was really fun, and we got a lot of time for it. And Jericho ended up beating Chyna. Chyna hit me with a chair, and that did hurt. That did hurt, and but it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, now the Royal Rumble, as they say, starts the road to WrestleMania.
Yep.
For fans, it's the favorite time of the year. Do you get that feeling in the locker room back in your day? Was there that extra energy around this time of year? Or?
There was always a lot of energy for pay-per-views. A lot of energy. A lot of energy. The one thing that stands out in that match with me and Chyna and Jericho is, because we always all of us should know each other's spots and everything, and the referee should always know too, just in case somebody forgets. And I'll never forget, Chyna did something to me, and I was down, and her and Jericho were fixing to do something, and they forgot. They completely forgot what was next. And I said, "Drop behind, nut shot." And that's when Jericho was supposed to pick Chyna up. She was supposed to drop behind and give him a nut shot, and then they continued. But it was kind of funny because I was crawling around on my knees, and I was like, "Nut shot, drop behind, nut shot." And it was like, "Oh yeah, thanks."
Now, obviously, we mentioned 7 Royal Rumble matches. You mentioned how kind of detailed they are. Does there anything that stand out during your specific appearances that you remember, kind of things maybe going off the rails or any issues that happened?
Well, I do remember talking about Jericho and Chyna during that match. I got to the ring, me, Benoit, and Eddie, and here comes Daniel Puder.
2005.
Thank you.
Another famous.
Yeah, thank you. This guy
account
knows
here.
dates. I don't know dates. It all runs together with me. I'm getting old. Anyway, so yeah, he was just kind of, we were like sharks in the water, just waiting for that guy to come in. We were just like, yeah, he's coming. It's coming.
If you maybe read Bob's book or seen the internet, he wasn't necessarily very well liked at the time. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah, no, I'm still not very well liked. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me?
No.
No, you know what's funny is, because like on Twitter, I don't get much of it, but I do get some of the, the thrashing and bashing that a lot of people get and stuff like that. And it's like, it makes me laugh because it's like you have these fans that think they know everything there is to know about each individual person, and they think they know them personally, and they proceed to bash you in a manner that's not very presentable. And it's funny because they always talk about what a bad person I am. And it's like, well, the way I look at it is, I made you believe in that character enough to think I'm really that way. And it's just kind of funny because I'm two completely different people from my character. Completely
sure.
different.
That's-
And
I mean,
people
it's
fail
not
to
scary at
realize
all.
that. Right, exactly. People fail to realize that. It's like I'm playing a character. I'm doing what I'm told to do. It's like when you go to work and your boss tells you, I want you to write a story about this baseball player. You're going to write that story and you're going to do it
I am.
how they want you to do it. So when I go to work and they tell me to be a certain way, that's what I'm paid to do.
Indeed.
And
can
people don't understand that.
Yeah, that's great. Can you believe that my boss has told me to get thrown over a desk this week? So I had to work in
That's
this whole thing.
crazy.
That's, I'll tell you.
You get workman's comp?
Yeah. Well, anyway, before we get too far off the rails here, you're staying busy though. Can you tell a little bit about that? You're still
I stay
staying
as busy as I want to be. I do a lot of appearances here and there. In fact, I'm going to Europe next month. Going to Springfield, Illinois next month, 17th, I think. I think it's the 17th, Springfield, Illinois. Yep. Then I'm going to Europe for Southside Wrestling. And I'll be over there for about 5 days. Then I come back, and in April I go to Indiana. Then March I go to New York for an appearance. But I just stay as busy as I want to stay, you know.
We'll put you on the spot. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you.
This Sunday, Royal Rumble, WWE Network. Who you got? Who's going to win? Cena? Balor?
Let's see.
Orton? Nakamura? Kurt Angle, surprise appearance?
No. If you were in it, my money would be on you.
I was going to say, we'll cut this part out, but that part we should keep that part. There you have it. I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. Surprise entrant. Anyways,
Yes.
Bob, thanks again for coming
Thank you,
in.
Steve. Thank you
really
for having me.
appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it.
Talking wrestling. It's a great time. That is going to do it for this week's edition of Telegraph Herald. More Than the Score. I'm your host, Steve Ortman. For Hardcore Bob Holly.
Which way's the beach?
We'll see you next week.
It's over there.